Hey Bible lovers, Tim Nichols here, and today in this video with Pike Lambeth, the Executive Vice President of the Lockman Foundation, we're going to be talking about the relationship between the LSB, the NASB 2020, and their relationship with the NASB 1995. A lot of people don't realize that the LSB and the NASB are both products of the Lockman Foundation. So ultimately, they're not even competing translations, but they're complementary of one another. So check this out. It's pretty interesting. Because there are some people that don't like the 2020, but they love the LSB, and they may not realize that you are also behind the LSB as well. So can you kind of explain that?
Sure. Yeah, and I guess the LSB kind of goes back to how we ended up with the NASB 2020. Because if we were to go back in time 5 years, we probably wouldn't have the LSB under what we were doing. So because what we ended up doing when we started what later became the NASB 2020, our original plan was just to do a light revision, a quick revision of the NASB 95 that would replace the 95. Basically, it would be the NASB, and that would be it. But as we were going along, we decided that more needed to be done. We ended up realizing we wanted to make this more distinctive than what we had with NASB 95. But in order to do that, we actually needed to retain and maintain the NASB 95 as a separate translation, and then have the NASB 2020 be distinct from the 95. And so that's where we ended up. So we kind of realized we have two translations. We're in essence building an NASB translation family. So when we started talking about the LSB, kind of the same thing came to mind, is that the idea was to take the NASB 1995 again and to do another revision, but with a different group of translators with a different goal than we had in 2020.
Right.
And that made sense because Bible readers have different preference in their English style, in their biblical knowledge, and all those things. And it just made sense that, okay, if we're building an NASB family of translations, the LSB is going to be distinctive enough that it will fit in that group with the 95, the 2020, and the LSB.
Yeah, and the LSB is one I haven't had any experience with. I try to take on 2 new translations a year, and it can get there's a lot of translations. It's actually remarkable how many English translate. We have a gluttony of wealth, and we are a blessed country and a blessed language for sure to be able to have all these different translations. So is it fair to say that the 2020 is probably a little bit more on the dynamic side, while the LSB is a little more on the formal side? Is that a fair statement?
I don't know that I necessarily look at it that way. I think, I would say that the LSB, they definitely made it their goal to really fine tune the accuracy and consistency of the translation. So I think that, yeah, they really wanted to fine tune that accuracy. And in the NASB 2020, we still wanted to maintain accuracy.
Right.
But at the same time, part of our fourfold aim is to make our translations understandable. It's to make them accurate, but also understandable. So we have to balance that. And so we wanted the NASB 2020 to use English that's more familiar to people today, that are more comfortable with the current English.
So both of them you would consider a formal or a literal translation, but the 2020, you all made a greater effort to really make sure that the words were understandable in modern day English.
Correct.
There you have it. How many of you actually knew that the LSB, the NASB 2020, and even the Amplified, which we didn't discuss, but is part of the Lockman Foundation? They're all part of the same NASB family. I didn't know that until a few months ago when I saw the Lockman Foundation on the title page of an LSB. So that's pretty interesting. There you have it. Keep calm. Jesus on.